We've all fallen victim to the MLM hun. Your high school bully slides into your DM 10 years later because they have a great opportunity for you. But really, they've just been duped into a pyramid scheme and are trying to recruit you. MLMs are often considered by those in the anti MLM community to be mini cults. So, this obviously begs the question, why? Well, today, in part one of this two-part series, we try to answer that question. It's time to take a deep breath and let the fresh air in. Hi, everyone. Welcome back, or welcome if you're brand new. My name is Erin, and I am fascinated by all things cults, true crime, and human behavior, and also unique spiritual practices. So, if you share any of these many interests, please consider subscribing. I'd absolutely love to have you here. Some of my OG subscribers might notice a little difference. My hair's actually really curly today, and this is my hair's natural curl. I just always straighten it or blow dry it straight just because it's easier. And today I was like, you know what? No, I want to get my curls back. I want to embrace them again. And I've kind of simplified my curly girl routine thanks to some Instagram girlies. So I'm excited. Hopefully it still looks okay. Um, but yeah, I just wanted to share that with you. If I have any other friends in the comments that can get self-conscious of their curly hair, I'm sure it looks so beautiful curly. So you just need the right routine. Anyways, let's go ahead and just jump right into today's video. Today, in part one, we're going to explain why MLMs are basically commercial cults. And in part two, we're going to take a look at how and why actual spiritual or behavioral cults use the MLM business structure. Now, if you've been watching my videos, you have a pretty good idea of what exactly a cult is. But since MLMs like to rebrand constantly or claim to be something they aren't, I wanted to provide a little background to what exactly an MLM is. MLM stands for multi level marketing. It's also known as network marketing or direct selling. They like to call themselves affiliates, brand partners, or my personal favorite, business owners. Spoiler alert, they're not business owners. They're just independent contractors that are paying a bigger company to sell products for that company. Yeah, not the best idea. People who participate in MLMs tend to rebrand every year or so to try to distance themselves from being called or compared to a pyramid scheme. The only thing that really separates a pyramid scheme from an MLM is that an MLM has some kind of product that's being provided for a cost. So it's this really strange little loophole that MLMs are getting away with, but in my opinion, they're still pyramid schemes. And we are going to explain why. So, multi level marketing is exactly what it sounds like. It's a way for a company to guarantee income for themselves while spending little to no money on actual marketing. Instead of buying billboards or ad space, the individuals who sell the products become the marketers and the customers. They sell the products to friends, family, and acquaintances, and if they have a large network or following, they have the opportunity to sell on a much more broad scale. Sounds pretty good, right? You're just hired on to one of these companies, whether it's Arbonne, Lululemon, Monat, Q Sciences, Mary Kay, Young Living, doTERRA, Body, formerly known as Beachbody, Amway, Herbalife, Nu Skin, Sensi, Isogenics, Roden and Fields, Avon, Melaleuca, Primerica, Forever Living, EXP Realty, Optavia, Tupperware. Whew. And there's even more. And all you have to do is sell those products. What's so bad about that, right? Nothing on the surface. But when we peel the layers back past all of the hey huns and I have a new opportunity for you, it's easy to see that the way a network marketer or MLMer is compensated isn't really through just selling at all. It's primarily through recruiting other people to sell the product. Here's what it might look like. A friend reaches out to you about a great new product, and typically it's touted as a magical cure all to whatever pain point you might have, whether it's weight loss, skincare, clothing, you name it. So, you, being a supportive friend, decide to try it out. But before you even had the chance to try this product out for yourself, the Hun tries to get you to do what they do and sell the product too, claiming that it's so easy to make money. All you have to do is talk about the product on social media from the comfort of your home while you're playing with your kids, while you're socializing. Plus, if you sign up now, you'll get a discount on your product. The catch, though, now you have to spend a startup fee. But don't worry, once you do that, you'll not only get a discount on products, but the opportunity to make money. And then this Hun has effectively sold you on the product and on the opportunity to sell the product. And unfortunately, it's mostly women who get targeted for these organizations. Stay at home moms who might want something else to do, a working mom who wants to spend more time with their kids, a military wife, a woman who's postpartum, a college student. Like cults, MLM Huns know who their targets are. They try to pinpoint your vulnerability and then exploit it. Oftentimes, someone might get involved, get quickly indoctrinated, and soon enough, you're rejecting any information that contradicts what you're hearing from your now upline or the person who recruited you. This is information that could end up saving you thousands of dollars because according to the FTC, 99% of people who get involved in MLMs don't just break even on their business ventures, they lose money. And here's why. First, when you join an MLM, it's sold as a great opportunity to make and save money. However, most MLMs have a buy in amount commonly known as a starter kit. This starter kit ranges from MLM to MLM, but we're going to use $100 for this example. So you spend $100 to get involved in your MLM, and in return, you might get a couple products and some tips on how to grow your business. You'll also gain access to what they call a back office, which is basically your own little web page within the website of the company. And this is how you might track your orders and your income. But surprise, surprise, you have a monthly fee for that website. Yep. So there's the first hidden cost. What you also might not know is that in order to stay active as a consultant, coach, partner, whatever they're calling themselves, you have to purchase or sell a certain amount of product every month. So for this example, again, we're going to use $100, although it's typically a little more. So you may be thinking, that's not so bad. Just get a customer a month, get them to buy $100 worth of stuff, and you're good. Well, the products probably cost close to $100, but not quite $100. So you end up purchasing an additional item to make up for that difference. So even if you make a small commission from that sale, you've had to turn around and pour that commission right back into your business just to remain active. And finding customers in general is not easy. MLMs are getting a bad reputation, and the reputation just seems to get worse. And the cost is typically way too high for what the product is, anyways. You can almost always find an in store or even Amazon product that's way more cost effective than an MLM product and might work better for you. People aren't really wanting to jump to spend more money on a product that they'll get for a fraction of the cost somewhere else. So you've spent $100 to start. Now you're required to spend $100 to stay active, and you have a $10 monthly fee for your website. So you might make a small commission when someone makes a purchase, but those purchases are few and far between. So you're encouraged to recruit others to do what you do, to also sell the product, effectively building a team of salespeople beneath you. If you do that, you'll not only make a percentage of all the sales you make, but you'll also make a percentage of all of the sales those people make. and thus the pyramid begins to form. The more people you recruit and the more they recruit people, the more money you will make because as they make money, it flows all the way up to the top. Which, guess what? Now you're at the top of your little pyramid, but you're also within someone else's pyramid, and they're within another pyramid. And I'm telling you, it just goes on and on and on. So, since each person is required to spend $100 a month and you get a percentage of that pay, it might sound like, well, this is great. I still want to do it. And this is why the MLM business structure is so beneficial to the company itself. Because if you can trick people into thinking they're going to make money by spending a monthly minimum, you will literally always have customers. The MLM reps are typically the only customers because if these products are as revolutionary as the reps claim them to be, wouldn't they be flying off the shelves at Walmart? Wouldn't they be easy to sell? Wouldn't you not have to manipulate and beg your friends and family into purchasing these products and joining your team? Oftentimes what happens is if you join an MLM is you reach out to what they call your warm network, so your family and friends to try to get them to join you. And once you've exhausted all of those resources, you might target your cold market, so strangers, random followers of yours on the internet. You might have to start approaching people in public. You might try to grow your following online by posting reels and TikToks trying to sell your products and share about you get to go on this lavish trip thanks to this MLM. You got this car thanks to this MLM. You get to buy a big house thanks to your MLM. You get to retire your husband thanks to this MLM. I mean, the wild claims go on and on, but it's going to be a constant uphill battle because if we use the numbers that I've used for an example, those $100 and that $10, and an MLM makes on average 10% of their downline's commission, but they spend at least $110 per month just to be part of that MLM, they're going to have at least 11 active members in their downline each month to just break even. And that's not including recouping their initial buy in into this scheme. So I think we can all agree that the MLM business structure from the Huns side is not realistic, and I would suggest avoiding these companies at all costs. And honestly, even if you find a product you like, I would suggest not purchasing it because the more you financially support these companies, they're just going to keep going and keep targeting vulnerable people. Now, if you're thinking of joining someone's downline, take a look at that company's income disclosure statement before you make a decision. The income disclosure statement shares what the average annual revenue is for each rank of the Huns within that organization. And I can tell you, because I've seen plenty of them, that across the board, the numbers are incredibly stark. I'm talking majority of people making only a few $100s a year, and that's before considering what they've paid into the company annually. So just please look up the income disclosure statements, and if you're in an MLM, do a cost and loss statement for yourself. How much have you poured into this company and how much have you made in the last year? It's tax season and you're going to have to pay taxes on that income too. So while you're going over your income, make sure you go over your outcome. There I go, trying to be clever. Let's just keep going. Now that we've gotten that out of the way, you're probably like, okay, Erin, get to the point. How are MLMs like cults? Let's get to it. So, we're going to use Stephen Hassan's BITE model of authoritarian control to explore this point. The B in the BITE model stands for behavior control. And in an MLM, a common trope is that you need to be a product of the product. So that means that you need to use the product and share publicly how this product has changed your life and it's all thanks to this magic product. So consider Body or Beachbody, for example. And I hate to admit that back in 2020, I was a Beachbody coach for like 3 months. I know, I know. Before you come for me, I quit. It was embarrassing. It was hard. But in Beachbody, you're expected to do all the workouts, drink all the shakes, eat these tiny portions, and share about your progress every single day. A lot of these groups also emphasize personal development and they have a checklist every day of tasks that you need to complete, whether it's personally for you or for your business or both. And this is meant to help you show up for your business on that day. So, having participated in Beachbody, again, much to my embarrassment, I saw this firsthand. My coach would wake up early every morning, read a chapter of whatever self help book her upline was telling her to read, and then post about that chapter, drink her energy drink that day because she didn't even need coffee anymore. All she needed was Beachbody Energize. Then she would show her workout, post about her workout, and then share all of her perfectly portioned meals and post about it. And then she would have a team meeting and post about that. I mean, her entire online personality became Beachbody. Honestly, her entire personality as a whole became Beachbody. I mean, her whole life's focus was Beachbody and pushing this product. Friends started to become wary of her because it's literally all she talked about. And our mutuals expressed fear to me that if they spoke to her, she would just try to rope them into her pyramid scheme. I mean, she became increasingly isolated and had even expressed to me at one point that she felt left out of the friend group. But unfortunately, she may have been doing this to herself simply because of her participation in an MLM. That isolation brings me to the I in the bite model. The I stands for information control. MLM Huns are discouraged from seeking outside information regarding whatever company they're working for or are being recruited for. The only resource these Huns want their potential recruits to use is them or the company's website. And they actually discourage people from Googling the company, most likely because there's going to be negative feedback on the company, and it's typically the first thing to pop up. And just like all cult leaders, any negative information that's found online is labeled as hate, or people who have failed at network marketing, or people who have never even tried it, so how would they even know? Any naysayer or simply someone sharing like real, actual statistics about the MLM business structure is labeled as a hater or spreading false information or less than or uneducated. So, me, for example, I am just a hater. Should I put that on a shirt? Let me know down below. Now, the T in the BITE model stands for thought control. And I also like to think of it as time control. And now, this isn't specifically how Steven defines it, but I honestly have to constantly remind myself that the T in the BITE model stands for thought control, not time control. But because cults do want to have your behavior, information, thoughts, emotions, and time all controlled, I did want to bring it up here. When you jump into an MLM, you'll be invited to different monthly, weekly, and in some cases, even daily calls. Some MLMs will do something called a 90-day run and have a checklist of tasks that they do every single day. And sometimes that will include a daily Zoom check in with your upline and your team. But typically, it will be expected that you join your upline's weekly call with their team. And then you'll probably be encouraged to join your upline's team call. So there's another evening that you have to devote to this MLM. And then if you grow a team, it's expected that you hold a weekly call as well. This is going to keep everyone on the team accountable and motivated and consistently remind everyone of the few people who are successful to try to motivate them, continuously instilling this feeling of hope within the recruit. There's also an element of love bombing when you first jump into the MLM. Your upline and your upline's upline and all of the other people in that Zoom welcome call are your new hype team, basically. They're going to hype you up for this new incredible journey you're on. They're going to friend you on Facebook or follow you on your other socials. They're going to comment on every single post you make about your new journey. You're going to be expected to share your why and get vulnerable with your group. They're going to say, "You're doing amazing. You're doing great. You are such a natural at this." You're going to feel like you fit in. You're going to feel like you have purpose and you have a group of people cheering you on. And if you do share doubts or concerns about yourself, they're going to be the ones to pump you back up. So, although it might feel like you're not getting any financial success at all, which you probably aren't, you're going to have this group of most likely women constantly cheering you on, and also sometimes breaking you down so that they can build you back up. Once the honeymoon phase of joining the MLM wears off, you might begin to realize that this opportunity just isn't all it's cracked up to be. Maybe it's simply that you aren't making any money and start to feel the burnout. Perhaps it's that you feel isolated because you've either cut off friends and family who don't support what you're doing because they won't purchase from you, or maybe they've cut you off because they don't want to hear about your dang MLM anymore. You feel alone and maybe begin to lean too much on this MLM community, or perhaps all of the above. And you're just not really posting about the products anymore or inviting people to the opportunity. And maybe you've kind of given up in a way. Well, your upline might begin to notice this and begin to give you some tough love. Because if you start working, it affects your upline's paycheck because she gets a bigger cut of what you sell than of what she sells alone. So your lack of motivation to keep going hurts her income. So you might get on a Zoom meeting with her and the other people on your team, and you might just get berated, yelled at, told you're lazy, told you don't believe in yourself, etc., etc. I have seen so many examples of this on so many anti-MLM channels, and I'm going to leave them down in the description box below if you want to educate yourself more. But you're getting essentially verbally abused and berated because the business structure isn't working for you. And guess what? It isn't meant to work for you. The scam and the potential brilliance of the MLM business model is that it's only meant to benefit the business, the company itself. Think of all of those subscriptions you pay for. That company knows that every month it's going to be getting income from you. It's the same with an MLM, all because these Huns are basically paying a very high monthly subscription to get to call themselves business owners. The only people seeing the benefits of the Huns working so hard for the company is the company itself. Think about it. If you wanted to make a ton of money fast and knew you could get some product for cheap and sell it as a massive surplus while not having to pay anyone to promote it, in fact, every person who does promote it has to pay you a certain amount per month, it's literally like the perfect scam. You don't pay employees, you don't pay for marketing, you buy or make a super cheap product and then con people into selling it for you, but only if they first buy it for themselves. You're guaranteed income, even if the product's awful, and you have almost no overhead. But I could go on another rant about that on another day. Let's move on to the actual T in the bite model, thought control. And I think that this can kind of work in tandem with the E, emotional control, in the bite model because our thoughts affect our emotions and kind of vice versa. Within the MLM business model, a consultant or coach or partner is constantly reminded that they are in charge of how much they make, and how much they make is correlated to how much work they put into it. And by this point, we all know it isn't true because people, especially now, are typically not interested in MLMs or their products. But do you think your upline is ever going to admit to that? No. Instead, they're going to further instill the idea that if you fail at the MLM, which, reminder, it has an extremely high failure rate, but if you don't hit your monetary goals, guess whose fault it is? Yours. It will always be your fault within the MLM. How much you make will be your fault, and if you fail, will be your fault. And this is a lot of what we see in cults, especially new age cults who follow that law of attraction or mirroring ideology where you're responsible for literally everything that happens to you, no matter how awful or tragic it is. It's your fault, not the cult's fault, not the MLM's fault. It's your fault. So, in an effort to regain your self worth, you might stay in the MLM, even though everything in you is screaming to get out, get out, get out. Even if there is a voice screaming at you, you might not because you might feel like you've just put too much time and money into this endeavor. Not to mention the friends and even family members you might have lost. I've heard of people getting divorces because they thought their spouse didn't care enough about them to support the MLM when the spouse was just trying to point out, we're losing our life savings and retirement. Please get out of this industry. But this is something called the sunk cost fallacy. It's the idea that people stay in something that's bad for them because they feel like they've already invested a lot of time, money, or energy into that thing. So it makes most sense to them to just keep trying because otherwise it feels like an even bigger failure because you would have ended up not just failing at that endeavor, but losing all of that time, money, relationships. I mean, honestly, in an MLM, the list goes on and on. But in actuality, getting out could be the thing that is best for you. And if you're considering joining an MLM or a cult, I really hope this video is enough to make you rethink that because numbers and statistics just don't lie. But you know who will lie? Your upline, the CEO of your MLM company, or your cult leader. I want to thank you all so much for spending your time watching this video today if you've made it this far. If you'd like to see more videos like this, please let me know down in the comments below. As someone who has consumed a ton of anti-MLM content throughout the years, I know I could come up with a magnitude of reasons why they are basically consumer cults for a ton of videos. So if you want just a full-on series on stuff like this, just let me know down below. I hope you'll stay tuned for the rest of the week because we have some excellent content coming out. I am really excited to dive into why cults use the MLM business structure very frequently. But my subscribers seem to be pretty smart, so I'm sure you're already guessing why a structure like the MLM business model might be attractive to cult leaders because obviously cults are really in it for the money. We're also going to be diving deep into some new cults that I haven't even looked at yet. So stay tuned for that. Make sure you're subscribed and that notification bell is on. Thank you so much for your support. I am so grateful to have you here. And always remember, stay safe out there and always ask questions. If something seems too easy or too good to be true, it probably is. So have a great rest of your day, your week, and until next time, goodbye.